Well, good morning, everyone. It is September 30th, 2024, and it's the favorite time of our week because it's Mondays with Bev and Paul. And hi, everybody, my name's Paul.
Good morning. This is Bev.
Hello, Bev.
Hello, Paul.
Here we go, folks. It's the last day of September, and we're breaking record heats in here in Arizona.
Oh, Lord, yes.
But monsoon's over today. It's been over for a long time as far as
Yeah.
rain, but here we go. And so we're going to we're going to talk about heat. We're going to talk about, this is a great little show we're going to do today. And please make any comments you want, make any suggestions you want. We're going to talk about cancer, radiation, energy, healing, and love. And we're going to base it on my journey here that I've been having with a prostate cancer situation and what I've been doing to help take care of this situation and what I've learned from it. And my radiation just ended on Wednesday.
Yay.
Amazingly, I'm already feeling almost everything's going back to normal. But let's talk a little bit about it. Let's start with a little description from you, Bev, about what's another possibility of how we could look at cancer. Like you said, everybody has been touched by it, whether they've got it or they know
Yeah.
somebody who's got it.
Well, basically, in the ancient writings, it says that from an older time of experience for the group called humanity, we have incurred some stuff that we have to work out. And the way we're working it out is through what we call cancer. It is literally in all of our DNA, the possibility of we carry it as a group. So when you look at that, yeah, like I was saying, I don't know anybody who has not been affected by cancer somehow, either
Right.
going through it or family members or whatever. So this, and I might say the secret to healing this as a group is love.
Yes.
That's the secret.
And I'll tell you, that's what I've really been learning here. This has been going on for a few years now. This is not just something that all of a sudden I got. I went in for those usual tests 3 years ago, and the PSA numbers were starting to rise, and I really feel because of BioTouch, because of that love that you just talked about, I was able to not freak out at these high numbers and not just run. I went to one urologist guy, and all he wanted to do was the standard thing. Oh, you got these numbers. Oh my God, well, you don't want to do a biopsy. Let's do an MRI. Oh, the MRI doesn't really tell us anything. We still need to do a biopsy. And he'd take 3 to 5 minutes to talk to me. I'd ask him a few questions, and he, took a little time to answer it, but it was just sort of like pushing through. And I was
Yeah.
like, that doesn't feel right here.
I need to take charge of this.
Yeah, and so the BioTouch, I'd get the BioTouch. Jenny would work with me, and and it just came really clear. Just do nothing for a moment, and I remember tears sort of coming over me, uh, and Jenny going, "All right, I can support that." Just that, there was nothing to have to jump on yet, and so I started to do research, and I really started to think of the situation. I remember that this was not a battle against cancer. I'm not
Right.
going to fight cancer.
No.
How do I bring the love? How can I love cancer, right? Even
Yep.
though maybe it doesn't really belong in this body, in this form right now. How can I love it? And I remember someone saying once, "Oh, don't ever say you've got cancer." And I always thought, no, I think a better statement is, yes, I have cancer. It doesn't have me.
Have me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And all these clarities were coming through. And I just opened myself up to, what are some possibilities out there? We always
Yeah.
talk about that. What are the possibilities?
Yeah.
And things started coming, like all of a sudden I got this talk by this doctor, naturopathic doctor, that as I'm listening to him, and he goes on and on. He's an Italian guy, on and on and on. But he's this expert, and it turns out he's up in Scottsdale, and I somehow hooked in him with, of course, Facebook and YouTube. Google all know that you're dealing with cancer. Yeah, I
Right.
mean,
It's not a secret.
yeah, all
No.
you have to do is think something, and all of a sudden you're getting all these posts.
Oh, oh, definitely.
So it hooked me up with this naturopath, and that led me to really understand that there's a very standard protocol that the medical system deals with because of insurance companies. But there are other ways to look at this, and he really took time. I remember the first meeting with him, it was a 3 hour meeting. And he did these tests, and he had me bring Jenny with me. He likes to have the wife there, and he really has all these charts. If people are more interested, I'm happy to share any of this with anybody out there dealing with prostate cancer. But the short of it was watch and wait. Keep taking these tests every 6 months. Let's talk about it a little. And finally, the PSAs kept going up, and it was sort of like, okay, it seems
Here
to
we
be
are.
time to do a biopsy. So, I did that, which is a bizarre experience. Talk about barbaric things, sticking stuff up your rear end
Yeah.
to do these pokes and pull out these little samples, and they ship them away, and all
Your
of a
your
sudden,
mantra, your mantra is I'm fine. I'm
right,
fine. I'm
right,
fine.
right. And of course, the doctor goes, "Oh, you're doing really well." And anyhow, and I'm able to, so I find this urologist through another naturopath, and this urologist is open to me talking to him. He's called non-invasive urology, and he's into me asking questions. He's into me that I'm working with a naturopath and doing these supplementations. Um, and then we find out there is some cancer, and then because I waited like 3 years, it turns out there was this new test, and the test PSMA for prostate cancer, and it actually can find prostate cancer anywhere in the body. So they never used to be able to tell if it had metastasized or if it was in the lymph nodes. So we,
Right.
we were able to do that, and it was only, by the time I went, it was only a year old. They found out, no, it's very localized. And then went to the radiologist kind of thing, and I'm still working with the naturopath over here. And I said, I'm not into doing the hormone therapy, and we know it's localized. And so what happened was, and I kept getting the biotouch, and it became real clear to me of, I could watch and wait for another year or two or three, who knows, because they say cancer is not, the prostate cancer won't kill you. But I'm like, I know where it is, you know, and I know it's localized.
Right.
Okay. And so why don't we take that moment and go for it? And let's find out what I could do. Well, I'll tell you all, at a certain point of research, your mind will explode. There are so
Yeah.
many options and so
Oh,
many opinions. But I asked a lot of questions of the urologist, the radiologist, the naturopath, and they were all sort of amazed that especially the naturopath, was amazed that I had found a team of medical professionals who were willing to listen to me, answer
yeah.
my questions, spend almost hours with me to research what I could do. And it basically boiled down to the radiation. You know, uh, the short of that story is, the technology has gotten so good that they no longer just zap your whole area of the pelvic area. The
Oh,
overlays of computer models and the MRIs with the PSMAs can get it so focalized that the radiation is very targeted. And it
wow.
reminded me of the targeted of the two fingers.
Yeah, right. Point right on them.
Boing! Just
Yeah.
go where the pain is. What do we say with BioTouch? Go where it hurts.
Know where the pain is.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so, and I'll tell you, here's the little story that happened. The reason I finally decided to go with this one particular doctor, Dr. Jen, who Jenny had gone to for her breast cancer, and he'd spent an hour with me on a Sunday going over all the different options. And instead of doing the hormone therapy, we could focus on the very specific tumors themselves. But he told me a very interesting story, which was the kicker. He told me about his grandfather. who was a Chinese herbalist. And he grew up as a young boy with his grandfather taking these Chinese herbs. He says, all I can remember is how disgusting it tasted. He said, so he became a Western medical doctor. And when he got his degree, he thought, oh, look at me. I'm a medical doctor now. I know what I'm doing. And his grandfather got some kidney problem and sought out Western medical care. And Dr. Jin turned to his grandfather and said, Grandfather, how come you're not doing the Chinese herbs? His grandfather turned to him and went, your medicine, very powerful. Chinese medicine, very subtle. He says sometimes that subtle Chinese medicine can't quite do it. And you need your medicine. When I heard that, it reminded me of another Chinese herbalist I went to decades ago who always said if you got cancer, chemotherapy was the way to go, to clean out the body, but build the body. And so when he said that, I thought, okay, we can do this.
This
We
is what I'm
can,
going to do.
yeah, we can bring in the guns of the Western model, but we can add, because he was totally into it, he's actually starting to work with a man I also found here, a naturopath, who's a naturopathic oncologist.
Wow.
So,
Amazing.
yeah, and this team is coming together to, in a sense, protect me, to
Oh, yeah,
encourage me, to love me. I mean, it's all loving care. I mean,
that's it.
this radiologist gave me his personal uh, text number. And if I text him, he'll text me back immediately if I have any questions. I mean,
Wow.
that's, in,
That is very heartening to hear, Paul,
yes, that there
for
is
Western
changes
medicine.
happening, and all we need to do, and biotouch again helped me do that. Help me
Yes.
take responsibility for my own health care.
Yep.
And
And the self-awareness.
oh,
You went through all of these different, aspects of your experience and were able to make decisions and attracted those angels that you needed to have in your life.
yeah, and that's truly what it is, surrounded by angels in the form of medical practitioners, holistic practitioners. And so, I'm doing all this. So, and another thing that happens, so I go in for this radiation stuff, and they lay you down on this table. Well, I found out that this machine actually isn't even a year old, this
Wow.
radiator, which means it's very the top of the line high tech with
They've
these high
launched.
tech computer programs. So,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you, the people that work at this radiology place, they are angels. I mean, you
No.
go in there, they smile on their face. How are you doing today? I had to do 29 of these treatments
Yeah, I
over the
know.
period of 6 weeks.
Yeah. I don't know. Ask me that tomorrow.
Oh, the worst part was you had to drink like 36 to 40 ounces of water 20 minutes before and hold it for over 30 minutes. And that
Wow.
was the worst part, because
Yeah.
I would get dizzy from holding all this bladder up.
Oh my
But
gosh.
they were always positive. Oh, you can do it, and smiling. And I would bring in little goodies to them, and they had they all. Funny thing is, the whole place, all these people that work there, the radiologists, and you'll like this one, all the techies, all their birthdays were in the first 10 days of September.
Of which month?
September,
Wow.
all the same dates.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, so the whole office is celebrating birthdays all at the same time. So I thought, oh, if Bev would like this one, we should get all their charts
Well,
together.
that's the healer, actually,
Yeah.
that energy right
Oh,
there. Yeah.
interesting.
Uh-huh.
So, I kept doing this, and so in the middle of this, I was given this book. Let me show you the book here. It's called Why Love Heals, written by Dean Schrock. He's a PhD, mind, body, spirit medicine. It was given to that by one of our certified practitioners, and I'm reading the whole book. And in the middle of it, I come to a section called Energy Healing. And he talks about, of course, these touch techniques, and he's talking about Bruce Lipton, Larry Dossey, all the big wigs for decades that have been talking about how like you talked about how love is what heals us,
Yeah.
and that we're all energy beings, and that we all are here to learn something. And which is interesting thing to learn, because as I'm laying on the radiation table, I had this little mantra, this little statement, and I kept saying to myself, I am not a body, I am free. I am still as God created me. I am loving awareness. That was my mantra
Yeah.
over and
Yeah.
over and over,
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
because someone asked
Telling a
me,
different story to the cells is what
that's what you
the
talk
living
about.
said.
A
Yeah.
different story,
Yeah.
that BioTouch, was doing, because, I'd get all these side effects and stuff. And the minute I could get BioTouch in the evening, the side
Uh-huh.
effects would calm down, whether it was cramps or the bladder was ready to explode or the urine was
Yeah.
painful, whatever. And somebody asked me before I was going to do the radiation, are you excited?
I know. Interesting question.
It was a very interesting question. And I turned to this person and I said, yes, I am. And I'll tell you,
Uh-huh.
I've been excited about this journey. And reading this book, okay, that part on energy medicine, he specifically not talked just about healing touch, therapeutic touch. He didn't talk about biotouch because he doesn't know about it. But he
Right.
talked about how radiation, MRIs, CAT scans, all these things were part of energy healing. And I
Yeah.
thought, what a great way to put
Yeah.
radiation
Well,
into being an energy modality.
it is energy if you look at it that way. All
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just well, we could say man-made, but you had to get it from somewhere. I mean, when you talk about what Einstein found out, it was all energy. And then it's how we use it.
Right.
How do we
Yeah.
use that formula?
Yeah, and I think that's maybe a secret to going through our experiences, isn't it? It's how present we can be, how available, how self-aware, our willingness to go on this journey with ourselves and be participating in it, not just outside of it all. This is one of the greatest things that biotouch can offer all of us is that ability to participate in all of that. And that's clearly what you chose to do. We can choose.
Yes.
It's about our attitude,
And I
you know.
think that's been my lesson to share with everybody. You can choose. And we've talked about that 8 years now.
Right.
BioTouch helps us take responsibility and make conscious choices for our own health care. You get the data, you choose what's right for you, and you're going to be okay.
It'll be okay.
You're going to be okay. It doesn't mean you don't add other things. I mean, I've added things like oxygenation, breathing exercises before I went in, acupuncture, vitamin C's, a thing called PEMF, hyperbaric chambers, supplements, And then the final thing, I went to this one naturopath who, when you're done with radiation, he clears the excess radiation and he turns you in
Oh,
all these four directions as he taps your head. Dr. Deal, he's
love
the
it.
magician, yeah. And I'll tell
That's
you, I
awesome.
felt from 6 weeks of radiation, a clarity. Things lifted off of me. So there are ways to clear all this. There's ways
Oh
for
my
us to
gosh,
breathe
yes.
and every time again, still doing the BioTouch now because there's after it could take anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months to clear it out and get
Yeah,
everything
of course.
functioning. But
How fortunate that you had those kinds of practitioners
yes,
around you.
it's been a blessing. It's been a
Wow, no
blessing.
kidding.
and
No,
and we just wanted to share that with everyone here. If you have more questions, please let us know. In fact, we're going to do a workshop in October, which will be on breast awareness and breast cancer from a Dr. Mustafa from I think he's from Pakistan, isn't he?
Pakistan.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're
Yep.
really looking forward to that. And BioTouch is here to help you on your health journey using all these different energy modalities and more important, just using love to heal.
Yep. That's a secret right
That's it.
there. And yet it's not a secret.
Right. I was just going to say.
It's not a secret.
It ain't a secret. It's just time to use it. So,
Yeah.
thank you all for letting me share my story. Thank you, Bev, for some of
Okay.
your insights there, and we'll see you all next week. Take care.
Have a great week, everyone.
Days in and days out, space and time is all about feeling pressure with the pain, in sunshine or in the rain. Living is a place in mind, giving is being kind. When the pain is too much, what we need is bio-touch. When I'm touching you, you are touching me. It's a simple thing to do and a natural way to be.